Voice. Let me turn this on here. I think I'm getting it too loud.
Well, that was a great show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and have a good night. Hi, everyone. I am Kreg here, and welcome to another edition of Mike and Kreg versus the Past, episode 2. I am here with my wonderful, beautiful, and always amazing co-host,
Mike. Just Mike. Everybody knows me for just been in local spots around the area. People know me for being Mike.
He's just Mike. That's it. We are building an audience right now. That's amazing. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Tonight we have a really awesome show. We are here with the amazing gentlemen from FORMO Toys who are going to talk about their new toy line coming out, and we're going to discuss the prototypes, the future of the line, what their influences are, and we're going to be back with another edition of Terrible Toy Memories, which got a lot of controversy the last show we had. Mike, did you hear anything on that? Because I got a lot of messages on that. Did you?
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I had. There's enough people that I've been receiving some private messages with. But what's really weird is that like the feedback's been phenomenal, and people actually want to start bringing in and talking about their terrible toy memories, which is awesome, man. Absolutely awesome.
Which is terrible though, because I forgot to my internet kind of sucks, so I forgot to actually put their memories in. So if anyone wants to DM us on Instagram or Mike, you do the Facebook thing, I will check that out, and we will play your terrible toy memories here in a bit.
Why is your it's just weird? Like your internet has always been like kind of weird ever since I've ever known you. I never really brought this up, but like it's kind of weird that you usually skip around and stuff. So I don't know.
Is it skipping now?
No. You're definitely fine right now, but I think it's just because you're like my internet is actually feeding yours, perhaps, or something.
Yeah. Well, I also just updated to my AOL 3.0, and I'm using the latest edition of Windows 98, Mike. So I don't know what you're using, but Windows 98.
Yeah. So
it fucks.
Yeah, that's a little weird there. But you know what? I'll let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Definitely.
Back to the show. We had an amazing first show last time, which ran a little long, but we had some amazing feedback. 99% positive feedback. That's like a first for anything we've ever done, especially
99%.
99%.
Really cool, but we had some negative feedback.
It was one video that got sent in, and it was so stupid. It was just this guy, and he was just like, he was overly critiquing, and he was.
What?
I don't even know how to describe it. It was childish. It was like he's like, oh, it's not that great, but
if we care about that. Okay, so hold on a second. Isn't anybody like that we should care about?
No, it's nobody.
Oh well, I've seen that face before. Like, what do you mean it's nobody? Like,
you know what? It would if I go into it or whatever. Like, we'll bring on the guests. It's gonna just
hold on. No. I want to see. I want to know who you're talking about.
No, because I know you. I've known you for 12 years. It's gonna create a dark cloud over your head, and it's gonna ruin the whole show.
I've seen this before. I've seen this pose before. Now I want to know, who are you talking? What is this about? Like, what is going on?
This is gonna it's gonna be a whole dark cloud over your head. And like I said, I have the video. I'll show you when we're off air.
I want to hear it now. I want to hear it. Come on, I want to hear what you're talking about. I want to hear it.
I mean, is it going to ruin?
It is not going to ruin the night. Believe me, I am definitely cool with it. It's not like anybody's. I don't give a shit. Like, who can possibly go on the show and actually? No, it is not going to bother me at all. Seriously. Do you have the clip? Do you have it?
I do. I mean, like, I'm loading it right now. All
right. I would like.
You're sure?
Yeah, I would totally like to see what. Oh, wait a minute. Can we see comments? Does anybody see comments?
Yeah, but there's plenty of comments. But do you want to just go to the comments and not play the video?
No. Let's go to let's play the video.
All right. All right, and this is the one negative review we got.
Hello, everybody. This is Todd McFarlane here. I had a chance to check out a link that someone had sent me, and I'm absolutely appalled by what I've seen. A so-called toy historian come out and said that Todd toys in the 1990s damaged the industry. That is not true. It's absolutely not true. How can anybody say this? You know, we created Spawn in the 90s. We created Image Comics. We changed the whole comic industry in the 90s. So no, that is incorrect. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And the show is trash. You know, if you like trash, you watch the show, you watch it. Who shows a woman getting shot through a teddy bear in a segment of the show? It's trash. It's appalling, and they're going down a dark path. And I hope that they change what they're doing soon, because they're going to get thrown off the air.
Are you happy? Are you happy, Mike, that I aired it?
I
told you not to let me do it.
Well, so I had reached out to him. Anyway, who the hell is that?
I told you, some dude. I think he drew Spider-Man for like a week or something in the 90s.
Fuck him. Anyway, look, you know, you're gonna get negative shit, I guess, or whatever. So whatever. But yeah, that's fucking weird, man. Like,
that's all right.
Oh, my head hurts from that.
I hear you.
Anyway, you know what? I promised you. I made you a promise that I was not going to care. So, all right, fine.
Just saying.
All right.
Hi to our gigantic audience right now. We have so many people in here. We want to say thank you to everyone who is joining us. Without further ado, shall we bring on our guests? I'll let you introduce them.
Absolutely. Okay, so
I'm excited to have them. This is big.
No introduction whatsoever. I mean, they've been seen in the industry.
Legends.
Yeah, definitely. Legends. Emiliano and Peer, obviously from FORMO Toys. We're gonna bring you guys in, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit about some of their stuff here. So let's see. Here is Emiliano.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello, sir.
And Peer.
Hello, and Peer's getting it on right now. There you go.
You're catching up.
It's fantastic.
Damn, save some for the rest of us, man.
Excellent. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Really appreciate it having you here. It is an honor and privilege to have you fine gentlemen with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having us tonight.
No, it's awesome. Thank you.
Fantastic. It's great to see you guys. Yeah, we have a great show planned for today. One of the things I think a lot of people have been asking about is they wanted to know a little bit about the figures and, just going down and giving the breakdown of how the figures pull apart and, that type of stuff that you guys do, that you've been talking about. So yeah, for sure. Kreg, if you have any questions.
I'm actually kind of curious. So what we're going to do is we're going to show pictures of each figure, and I'm kind of curious on the background for what inspired you guys too, especially with each figure. Like, was there a particular inspiration? What brought this character to life? First, let's talk about the name. Obviously, it's its own thing. How did you guys come up with that? Do you have a backstory for that, or like
for the names?
Yeah, well, for the Legends of Dragonore, like, was that? How did you come up with that? Because like the header is just it's in your face, like that's.
Well, I have to admit that most of the background story and the names came after the designs. We had to come up with these designs pretty quickly at one point. So we had to figure out the story around it and the name of the characters and the background of the characters. So it was kind of like a reverse engineering from the look of the characters, what we wanted the characters to be, and try to figure out the story around them. And the names were probably kind of the last thing we came up with. Not in every case, though, like Barbaro and Pantera, which are just Italian words for barbarian and panther, that were kind of locked in since the beginning. The others took some more thinking, but fortunately we had very good suggestions. We're talking between us, get some feedback from friends, and we were able to come up with names that will fit our characters. I wouldn't say it was like the first choice, like Oscuro and definitely Yondara took a lot of time to figure them out, but it was really like about the sound, if they felt right for the characters, like how long they were, how similar to other names they were.
Right.
You have to worry about trademarks, etc. So there is a lot of factors going on in choosing a name.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, some people were commenting too. Obviously, you guys started as something else, and then it became something so much bigger, something so much more unique and fresh. And I think, without even going into the other stuff, it was its own thing now, and it's so unique. And I think more people are just warming up to these characters, and they want to know so much more about them because it is the brainchild of you guys. You guys started your own thing. It's so cool. And I guess we could start jumping right into the characters. Let's start off with the hero.
Before we
Sure,
start,
Mike.
I just want to let everybody know that's here because we have a pretty good audience here. Right now, as we speak, and Emiliano, I talked to right before we started the show, there is a special pre-order going on right now for this particular episode. And I think after the episode, I'm not sure if it's going to stay live. So if you guys do it, you're going to want to get in on the pre-order while this is live. And right before we start, right, I just wanted to say something else because I hadn't had a chance to yet. I've been extremely busy. But as far as the line is concerned, if you're wondering about the quality of these action figures, like the quality of what the materials are, what these are going to turn out like, the cards are going to turn out like, I'm going to tell you a piece of information that's exclusive right here. These figures are being done in the same factory that Zolo World, Realm of the Underworld, and the Pirates of the Galaxy, all the characters that you see, whether it be Bendy's, whether it be the our Realm figures, like I said before, any of those particular characters or any of the paper that you see coming from this is going to be coming from the same factory. So the quality is absolutely awesome to what you would see in what we do to what you're going to see for their stuff. And as a matter of fact, their stuff is so innovative that it is going to blow your mind. So they've taken the next step in this evolutionary process, and they're going to talk to you about it. Now, I don't want to say any more, but I'm just going to say, if you're questioning quality, I just want to throw it out there that it is the same quality that you would get with a product that you see from Zolo World. So I know there's a few questions have been about that. So that right there should at least let you guys know of what you're basically getting into. Any fan of Realm of the Underworld, any fan of our series that comes in either from, the fan pages or whatever, if you like that, not going to go any further. I'm just going to say that this is going to be that awesome of a product. So go ahead, Kreg. I'm sorry. I just wanted to.
No, I'm glad that info's out there. That's important because, right now they are prototype stages. And I mean, you have guys from every message board, every social media group going ape shit over your product. And they're like, they don't know, what it's going to feel like in person yet. Cause this is good. We actually just got an awesome comment here. The cardboard castle is my favorite gimmick. That's awesome.
I love the cardboard.
I was actually, when we were backstage, Emiliano, I was so confused by the cardboard castle that I thought your illustration was actually real. That's how good it is. And I'm like, how'd you guys prototype that? And Pierre's like, what? So it was like, no, it's cool.
Yeah, no, it was something actually done pretty quickly because we needed to have this backdrop piece for Luca Comic Convention last year. So I painted that very quickly, and people saw it online and they started asking about it, and that's where we got the idea of doing this early bird kit, so we could share this cardboard castle. In Lucca, it was just a 4x panel, so a foam panel. But in the early bird kit is going to be a cardboard piece folded that stands on its own with a backdrop piece behind the door where you can see what's inside the castle. But we got the idea from there. It was just cool that people were asking for it, and we just got the idea there.
This thing is so cool and unique. I mean, we're all 80s babies who grew up with, we had our every kind of cool castle from, He-Man to Crystar to Thundercats and everything. And it's really important that these figures all have play sets, especially for the next generation of kids, which is just a lie because we're going to be playing with it. So, I'm gonna shut all my webcams off. I'm gonna sit home and be like, "Come on, Barbaro, we're going on an adventure." So you heard it here first.
Transmitting free room.
Damn it! No one can see that. So we're gonna start with, I guess, the main hero, Barbaro.
If possible, I would like to go also back on another topic real quick.
Sure.
Because of the factory.
Yes.
Of course, me as a sculptor, I'm super anxious to see what the factory is capable to do and how my sculpts turn out as a real product. And usually there's a lot of loss. I mean, we see it all the time when we see prototypes online of a toy, and the final toy comes out. It's usually a little bit more dull and don't have those crisp details that you've seen in the first place.
Absolutely.
And you're never safe from that. But so far, what we have seen from the factory, from your toys and from other toys they did, there's a lot that we can expect. And we already seen prototypes they printed where the engineers already translated my mesh files, my polygon files, to actually workable cutting files. And these are really exciting. That calmed me down a lot because these look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
The details are all there. It's, for me so far, it's pure joy. So hopefully this translates into the cutted mold.
It should be within the next few weeks. I'm hoping that you're going to have a big smile on your face.
Well, a lot of people don't know that if they don't turn out perfectly, Peer will actually come to your house and resculpt every figure. So
yeah, he does. He has a pen to do
and it takes several days. And of course, I need snacks, food, a place to sleep.
There you go. Yeah.
And a lot of beer. We have beer ready for him.
So yeah, the work that you put into this is absolutely amazing. And just to see where this goes, it's just, you guys are a great team. I think everything I've seen so far has been really, really, really just next level. Everything is next level.
Thank you.
Evolutionary process. You don't see this in the industry anywhere. You don't see
No.
it. You don't see anything like this. And the wave 2 that you guys are talking about, I'm not going to feel that thunder, but I'm saying like what you guys are talking about has just been absolutely just nailing it. Just absolutely nailing it.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's weird because we're trying to go back in time most of the time. Most of what we're trying to do, like our products, is like a trip back in time. We're not trying to do something innovative or new. We're trying to reproduce a certain feeling, certain moods of the sculpts and characters, etc. So it's weird. We're trying to be, I wouldn't say innovative, but do something new, trying to reproduce a feeling from the past. And it takes efforts. It's not an easy thing. You just don't copy the past and get the same thing. You actually have to study and try to understand what created that feeling back in the days. And try to reproduce it is a long process, and it takes a lot of efforts by me and by Peer and by Josh to we all contribute to this, because we're very strict with our designs. We don't say, oh, it's the first design we do, it's okay, let's do it. No, we discard a lot of ideas before getting to the thing that we feel it's right for that feeling we're looking for.
Of course, we get to that point quite often that we say, yes, you know what, it's fine enough. Let's move to the next one. And then, of course, on the next day, you have it back on your desk because you're just not quite satisfied with your results so far. So you revise stuff over and over again before you're really satisfied. Because for me, one of the points that makes this feel like a retro thing, that makes it feel like, yeah, this is a feeling that I had back then, is not the stuff where you say, oh yeah, I know that. I've seen that. When you saw stuff as a kid, it was always like, this is exciting. This is new. Never seen that before. Or I want to get that in my hand or play with it or try it. And for that, you have to give it a new spin, something new, something exciting to it that you have not seen before.
Absolutely.
And still have something that you resonate to and that seems familiar.
Yes, no, absolutely. I want to say one other thing too is Josh wasn't able to make it tonight. He had something going on, but hopefully for a future show we'll have him come on. Josh I've known for a long time, very long time. So so I look forward to seeing him in the future on here as well.
Well, we'll have you guys on every step of the way, because damn, I'll tell you the truth. I wanna know everything about this toy line. It's one of the actual few toy lines that really, and I'm not saying this because you guys are here. It is one of the few toy lines that literally has that 80s vibe to it, so down to the wire that you could almost smell walking into like a Toys R Us or Caldors and being like, that's the one I want, Shout out to Caldors, we miss you.
Caldors, yes, right. Woolworth, Caldor.
Bradley's.
That's where these would be. I'd be walking into a Woolworth at this point.
Oh, I miss Woolworth.
On my candy and then turning my head and seeing one of these and being like, oh, this is mine. I'll get one of these.
Wasn't Woolworth a UK thing too?
Maybe, actually. You might be right.
Speaking of the UK, the Queen is dead. That happened.
Yeah.
So you know what that means? It's almost like I had that queued up for some reason. Thanks.
Something.
Oh, I feel horrible.
Well, we're all going to hell.
Talking about this. I mean, it's still somebody that just passed out.
She had a better life than we all will. She's fine.
Oh, grilled cheese.
Yeah.
She had more toys than us.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I'm not jealous of the kind of life they have to endure.
Did she pass the nuclear codes early on?
Yeah.
To Charles, so
yeah, she was like passing them off. Well, she had a better internet service than me. AOL 3.0. Just saying. Anyway, we got some more comments coming in here. Yep. Oh, I just got to give a shout out to this grilled cheese at Woolworths. Yes, their cafeteria, the best. That being said, let's jump on into the one, the only Barbaro. It's weird because the picture is like in the way, so we could all just kind of like dance around the photo and be like, wait, it's like this guy over here is Barbaro.
It's nice because the way you pronounce Barbaro, it's Barbaro.
Barbaro.
They made me notice that the way U.S. people pronouncing it is Barbaro, which is actually the name of
Barbaro.
Barbaro. It's a professor that is on TV all the time talking about history and science. It's called Alessandro Barbero in Italy. And so like the first
I don't
time...
have a cool accent. I'm a Bronx baby. I don't have a cool voice.
The first time we had like our music guy, Sander Gomans, pronouncing it Barbero, somebody sent me a meme with Alessandro Barbero, the professor. It was pretty fun.
Well, I'm gonna just butcher the hell out of it. So it's for everyone out there that's from the Bronx or New York. It's Barbaro.
Yes, that's more correct. Yes, Barbaro.
Say it the right way, everyone. It's Barbaro.
I didn't even partake in any of that, but yeah, I'm there. Barbaro.
There he is in all his glory, looking like he's gonna kick someone's ass. That is one beefy looking dude. Like he looks like he could kick He-Man's ass, to be honest. You guys want to tell us a little bit about him, how he came about?
Peer, go ahead. Go ahead if you want to.
I'm actually curious, Peer, too. Where did the helmet design come from, too? Because that really kicks ass.
Yeah, Emil.
Okay, there you go. Good night, everyone.
Peace out.
Bye.
No, okay. I'll tell you the story about these designs.
All right, hit us.
We had to change our original design. It was inspired by a good friend that is not with us anymore.
Yes.
We wanted to pay homage to our friend Mark Taylor. And we used this design and also what this wonderful sculptor, Anthony Guerrero, had sculpted originally. We wanted to do something that paid homage to that. But we choose to change that because somebody complained about using that design, which was not being used by anybody. But we had to change it. So I think for a few weeks, we drew and redrew and changed it again, several instances of these heroic characters where we're trying to find an happy medium between what we had originally and something that was distant enough for what we had that wouldn't raise any complaint by anybody. And it took several efforts to do that. Like many times we changed it, but one of us would say, no, it's still too close, or yeah, it's cool, it's different enough, but it's
This
not
doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. And by trying, at one point, what happens often to me when I design toys is that I did this design and I did the helmet. Well, it doesn't have a helmet. It has this sort of tiara. This is tiara more in Jack Kirby style, like the Divine Armors. And that clicked in. I changed a few colors. I added a few details, and I felt that was strong enough. I sent it to the folks and said, I didn't say anything. I think this is good enough.
Yeah.
And everybody's agreed that there was a character. It wasn't just an attempt to change the previous design. This felt like his own character, like somebody that would fit our story, that could that could have the name Barbaro in our story. So we felt it was right, and we stuck with him, and we went to sculpting with him.
Well, he looks.
The thing that made it pretty complicated, from my point of view, was that Barbaro, as well as the previous sculpt, were like the essence of a barbarian.
Yeah.
And there are only so few key elements you have to have in there to make him real like the proto-barbarian guy. And when you are so limited in your design options, when you want to keep a certain look and aesthetic and feel and still have this is new and exciting spin to it, that led to lots of designs and attempts and discussions, tears, and people throwing up from being hysterical.
Yeah.
But in the end, it worked out just perfectly. And in the end, it was sort of like, wait a second, this is it. It's like walking up the stairs in darkness, and then you expect there's another step to take, but there is none, and you step into nothing just on the next floor. For me, it was like that feeling that you were struggling and hassling to get there, and all of a sudden you're there.
It just happens.
Yeah.
We have a question here, and one of the KJ here. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on our screen here because I think you guys are going to be the best at explaining this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The question is, what are the What are the leg joints of the figures like? What are the leg joints like? And pretty much the arm joints, I guess, too, is what they're referring.
Pierre, go ahead.
It's all over the male body. It's the same joint. We have a retro style peg and socket joint. It's just swivel joints all over the body and all the joints of all the figures. And theoretically, all the arm joints and leg joints are compatible. So
Modular?
yes.
Modular. It's a modular design. So you would be
Yeah.
able to use any point to any point pretty much. And any friction point to any friction point. You'll be
If you would like to, you can put arms on the crotch section and directly the head on top of it. And if that's something you like, this is possible.
That's how I play with my toys.
That's how I play with my toys. Too. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Jumping to the next character we have, and I'm going to butcher the name, so I will let the pros say it. Boom.
Oscuro.
Oscuro.
Yeah.
God, you make it sound so much cooler than I say it. I'd be like, Oscuro.
Well, this is kind of it's a different play on a Italian word and Spanish word, which means darkness. But we felt it was cool enough. I think Josh came up with it. Am I right there? Yeah. Josh came up with it, and it felt right. We like to have this kind of inside jokes with the names using foreign words that sounds exotic enough.
Yeah.
So we, of course, changed one letter using a K instead of a C. But it felt right. It's a nice word. It has a nice sound. The design itself was another struggle. These are the Barbaro and Oscuro were the guys where we struggled more, I would say. Pierre, you remember like all the problems with the armors and colors, etc.?
Yeah, with the designs for the armor, we went way overboard at first with lots of details, and they were pretty intriguing and good design there, but they were just too complex and too complicated to really get this retro vibe across. So in the end, again, it was sort of, we had the lower part planned out and it looked good, and it was just the color that needed some attention. And so I made a quick sketch just of the color. Emil edited, and it felt right.
That cape is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
There's two different almost materials on this. There's one side that has one material, and the other side has like a different feel to it.
Yeah, this is the sample we got, which is from a factory that provide this kind of material, so has fur attached to a fabric piece. Now, to be absolutely transparent, we don't know if we'll be able to replicate the exact same color of the back of the cape, and this one is black. The factory will have to find a vendor that is able to supply the exact same fabric. So with the gray fur on one side and the black on side, that may change. I have to be honest. That may change. Like they may not be able to find a vendor that has exactly the same kind of fabric. So maybe the inside of the cape may be gray instead of black. We'll try to be as close as possible to the prototype, but in the process of producing a figure, these things always change. So we'll see if it will be 100% faithful to what we did. But I feel even if it's all gray, which is kind of what we designed originally, it should be still pretty cool because the black body and arms will stand out on the gray background that is created by the cape.
So long as they're not hard plastic capes, because we don't like hard plastic capes. It takes all the fun out.
Hard plastic capes are like bane of any cape that has ever been made, in my opinion. You got to have a cloth. If you're not going to have a cloth, there's no reason to have a cape.
And when you're doing a cloth cape, you can't put punches through it.
Yeah, you really can't put punches through it. Like some new toy line right now.
Some new toy line's doing that right now. Some guy, he's doing that. Anyway, just some guy.
Getting fur and fabric right and getting it in your hand is really, it turned out to be way more complicated than I thought in the first place, because it has to have a certain length to it, like the hair fibers themselves. When I get too long, it looks just like a plush toy, and that's not what we wanted. So getting something that looks a little bit like fur, but still like a toy, but not too much like a toy, that is complicated. And then you don't really get the factories, you get just samples. So the only thing you can do is getting the samples, send them over, and fingers crossed, having the factory to be able to purchase the right stuff, or something that is better or at least as good as.
Yeah, there is this factor when you're producing a toy, especially for an independent company like us. This unknown factor, like everybody complains when they see a prototype and the final product is different, but it's such a long and complicated process to get a toy produced, where you have a certain level of control over what the factory is doing and what the final product will be. And you can try your best, but there are still limitations. The materials, the packaging, like what suppliers are able to find that is fed to your factory, that you don't really know exactly what's going to come out at the very end. Like you try your best to make your toy looks like your prototypes, but it's still really it's a long shot. You don't really know that is going to be perfect as you hope it is going to be.
You don't even know if the colors are the same you picked. I mean, yes. we had that in our case. We had that I was using a slightly older Pantone color swatches than Emil was using. So some of the colors sort of faded or oxidated or something, and it was a difference. Yeah. So you have no idea what they over there are using, or if they using the Wish version of it.
The Wish version, exactly. Well, I think
not giving out any secret. What you work with are color catalogs like this. These are they are printed to be the exact colors. They have a formula to create these colors with Pantone inks. Of course, the factory is not going to use Pantone inks, but you try to get as close as possible. Now, these catalogs also have an expiring date where the colors actually degrade over time. So, in theory, you're supposed to buy them again, like every year or something, but they're very expensive.
I'm super sure this is what Pantone plays on. They design it like that, so you have to buy a new one every once in a while, and they're so expensive.
Yeah, and the coolest, well, not the coolest, but the fun thing is these are meant to be used for graphic design, to print stuff, not for plastic. Pantone has catalogs specifically for plastic, and they use like plastic chips. And they have these big round catalogs with plastic chips in it. Problem is, if you want to have a full catalog of plastic chips by Pantone, it's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars. like each of these thing costs
Oh my
like
God.
2,000.
We're toy collectors. Paying a lot of money for plastic is fun.
How dare we?
No, I think
But just for plastic chips?
yeah.
And I'll be honest, I've seen other toy companies just using these catalogs, not the plastic chips. So maybe the bigger companies can afford to have plastic chips. The point is, it's not like Peer was saying, I have them, it has to have them too, because I say paint this part in this specific color and I give him the color number. It has to paint it at the color number, but it has to have a reference. So it has to have the same catalog that I have to make sure.
My monitor is differently calibrated than his, even if they print them out. My printer won't work like his, so the only way we can agree on a color is with those watches.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just add this too. I think that the difference between I think the difference between what you guys are doing and like a lot of the bigger companies, they don't put the emphasis that you do on this. Like honestly, there's so much more emphasis that goes into it that you're doing because you want these to be as best and as close as possible. Where I've seen some companies that go, that's good enough. Let's put it out there. Let's just make it. Who cares? I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter. So they'll go ahead and put this stuff out there because they don't care. The difference is that like what I always seen is like the companies that actually do care is the people like us that just go out there and actually try to make it the best that we possibly can.
Hey, Mike, you know what toy company really cares?
Tech action figures, the interchangeable system of robot warriors, weapons.
I'm sorry. I had a request. I'm sorry.
You know, it's but yeah, so that's what I always see here is you know, when for what you guys are doing too, and the emphasis that you're putting on this and everything that you're trying to put here is you're putting a lot more than what I would see from major toy companies that are doing. So kudos to that also. But go on.
Thank you.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, maybe it's because we're so small and it's just the three of us, so we have time to care. I don't know, but we'll try to keep this quality and this level of attention to what we do, like all the time. It's a bit of a stress, and it's not easy to get this stuff right, but this is what we want our toys to look like. So we try to make our best to make them happen the way we want them.
Sometimes a smaller group of people are a tighter group of people and things go better. Like we've seen so many toy companies, I won't name names, but well, they just push crap out because of delays or whatever, and excuse after excuse after excuse. This doesn't match, that doesn't match, that didn't. You guys actually show that you care. You're interacting with customers. You're taking live questions. We'll get to that point down the road.
On fire.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know who loves the toys and who does it because it's a passion, and you know who does it because it's money. You know,
true. But let me say this in this regard. I work with big toy companies. I work with Hasbro all the time. You know that, and I can definitely say that the people I work with, the designers, because I work with the design teams, really care about what they're doing. Like the Power Rangers team, the Transformers team, they really, really love what they're doing and they care about what they're doing. And Takara Tomy really cares about what they're doing. Asui-san and all the other people involved.
I agree with you 100%.
They care.
100%. Yeah,
with
final
it's when you're such a big toy company, there are so much more hurdles you have to go through. Like you have to deliver a certain product to a major chain like Walmart or Target by a certain date and in a certain quantity, and you have a contract to do that, so you have to stick to that contract. So yeah, maybe it's not exactly what you wanted originally in your mind as a designer. You have to settle for what is possible at that time or what it was possible in that time frame, and what was possible according to the budget you had, and you have to deliver by that deadline. That's just an example of the constraints a major toy companies goes through. So that's not to excuse certain things. Like there are oversight all the time, and there are people that don't care about the products. I agree with you, but it's not always like that. Like in these big companies, there are people that really cares about their product.
Yeah,
I know that firsthand.
Well, it's funny too because you mentioned.
I really learned that most of the guys I work with really care about the product. Nevertheless, you really have some guys, and this is, as far as I experience, it's always the same story. It's like they got promoted there, and they have no idea what they're doing, or they really lack a certain kind of finesse for the project, but they worked really, really hard to get there, and they just greased up the right people to get there. And all of a sudden, you have someone sitting there who's living its dream without the capability of filling this dream with too much of meat.
Yes, FORMO is absolutely doing Mantech, just to rub it in Mike's face.
Which, you know what? I always find them, the Mantech, cheesy but fun when I was a kid. I never had any of the toy. I know they are super brittle and they're not that good. So I never experienced that. But I had this retailer catalogs and I was looking at the Mantech figures all the time, and I like it.
Fuck Mantech.
It would be actually pretty fun to do that.
Pop it in the package. It's not even.
Well, it's funny too because Emiliano, you touched on Hasbro and everything, and I know like with the Power Rangers especially, it's like in the beginning there was a lot of problems where like some characters had like glossy helmets, unpainted wrists, things, and then they started listening to the customers, and like they started winning back the fan base, and the difference is like the fans grew with them, but like they're starting at the very base with you guys, and you guys are always there. You're always taking responses. You're always, right at the ground with the customer. And I think that's what sets you guys apart from a lot of people. Like Mike does that with all the people that buy Realm of the Underworld and all his licenses. You guys are doing that with Legends. It's like guys like me too. Like we want to support guys like you guys, like all of you guys, because you're one of us. We know that, and we support our own. So it's so rock and roll. I love that.
Well, I mean, like, let's just face it. I mean, I hate to hash this because a lot of people know as far as, my belief on the whole thing. And I've talked to this and I've been very vocal about it. It's just that the corporate mentality has always been, and oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there was just this question. There will be a chance to pre-order them if somebody missed it. Well, you can order them right now for 24 hours, starting when this podcast started until 7 p.m. tomorrow. You have this window to pre-order them on our website.
Yep. So you want to get on? You can see the website right on the bottom of the ticker right now, and you can catch that. Hop on, and yeah, you'll see all the figures. I think you saw them by the set, right? There's sets up there, right?
Yes, we on our website there's only sold by the sets. Yeah.
So everyone get on that. Pre-orders are back open for 24 hours only. If you missed out, get them now before they're on eBay.
Thank you, Facebook user. I don't even know who that is.
Support the artists. Get them from formotoys.com.
So one of the things I was saying before was that, I've been very vocal about, the corporate mentality and how the corporations have always been, just pushing down on any of the smaller companies and trying to coercively do stupid shit. And I think that the biggest thing and the biggest point is support the people like us, support the new businesses, the people that are coming in, because major corporations don't give a shit about you. They don't care about who they're, it's just push out a product. We actually care, like FORMO cares about the products that's actually coming out. And no matter what, we stand behind that. I stand behind that. So yeah, you'll always have a distribution hub on this end. You know, I'm just getting tired of major corporations picking on other people and picking on businesses and doing the stuff that they do and trying to push people out of the scene. And that's definitely not what we stand for. That's definitely not what I'm positive everybody in this group stands for. So support, show your support on them, because I'll tell you, you know, we want to see this thing get bigger. We want to see it constantly get bigger and see more waves and see more interesting stuff and more.
I want 10 waves in a movie.
Yeah, there we go. So there's my piece. Like I said before, I hate to get sappy and shit, but I'm just saying.
Do you?
The biggest point to the matter is that, you know, it's what we do with small businesses and what we do is the other corporations follow. They look at what you're doing and they say, you know what, this is a great idea. Let me just go ahead and take it. And they feel like it's okay to take an idea, but if there's ever a whiff or anything that looks anything even close to something else, it always becomes an issue. Like I said, I mean, we put out Flex Stores 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I seen a similar product for the very first time in its format as that, and called something else very similar. I was like, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. But anyway,
did you say that this is trash?
It's trash. It's trash.
And the big companies, I mean, go to the big companies on a convention and try to get a hug. If you get to our small companies, you will get an unnecessarily long, warm hug if you're well groomed. But
I hear you. I thought you said get a huck, and I could show you a huck right now. Just give me a second.
No. Oh no, Mike, what are you doing? Oh no. Well, I'm gonna have the Mantac ready just in case Mike.
he's just
There's
going
a
to
huck
get
every
his.
once in a while. There we go.
I can't. So just for that moment.
Tech action figures, the interchangeable system.
Whatever. That fucking clip is never gonna get old. Watch, I'm gonna get a fucking cease and desist from fucking
anyway,
Don't use our clip.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm getting messages out the ass here that people want to know more about each figure. So I'm gonna run through them like wildfire here because where the hell is it? Come on, computer. Again, AOL 3.0 people. All right, so here we go. This is the most requested figure question here, and I'm gonna fuck up the name. Yandara.
That's perfect.
Woo! I did it, everyone. All right, so she's gorgeous. She's got a lot going on here. Hit us with some info on her. Give us the behind-the-scenes scoop. She's awesome.
She's like our guide, I would say. She's probably the most developed characters we have because she's not like just a warrior that goes and fights with Barbaro. I mean, she's able to fight, etc., but she's more like this guide that takes these heroes and guides them into exploring this dimension through the well that is inside Castle Dragonore. And so she is like a shaman and a sort of a magician, not really like she used magic too. She has this staff of divination where that she used to forecast the future or a certain situation at least. And she also communicate with the characters in other dimensions, appearing to them as a vision, as a dream. And we'll show that how she will look like when she does that. But that was what guided us in creating her, because she had to be this. She's the chieftain of her tribe, and her tribe has this tradition keeping secrets about the well of sorry about the puns, but the well of secrets inside the Castle Dragonore. And so there was this bloodline of shamans, and she was the daughter, and she became a shaman too. And so she learned all the secrets that are connected to the castle and the well, and she has to guard them and also guide the heroes in using the powers that are inside the wells and exploring the dimensions. So she has this mystical warrior vibe. That's what we're aiming for. Very prehistoric in a way. They were saying there are Aztec influences. I didn't actually look for specific stuff when I designed her, when I tweaked her design from what she was originally, but definitely yes. Without looking at specific references, in my mind, there was a certain look that I wanted to achieve. So original, like Southern American vibes, this kind of aesthetic. That's what I wanted to achieve with her, and hopefully I got her right.
Peer, was sculpting that staff a pain in the ass? Because that is so detailed. That is like one of the most detailed pieces I've ever seen in a figure ever.
The staff was actually really easy.
Because that looks so intricate.
Maybe that's the fun part about it.
Oh my God!
It's basically it's not that much. I mean, you have these little mask things, these little faces that hold the ball in his mouth, and these repeat around the staff. So it's one of those lucky instances where you sculpt it once and then pose it around an object, and it looks very detailed.
I swear, but between the three guys at FORMO, you guys have like a dream team over there where you guys are just, between design, sculpt, you guys are just killing it. Like people in the comments, I'm not even loading half of them. People are going ape shit over this. Let's talk about, we saw that. Okay. The biggest shocker of the group, we got our clear translucent figure. I'm going to fuck up the name. Karem or Kareem? Karem.
Yes.
He's not a basketball player. He's not Kareem. He is Karem. Goddamn my New York. Damn it. Any behind the scenes tidbits on this character, because this really, like, when I first saw these, like, no joke, I've never, between all the 80s lines and everything that I collect, I've never seen anything that kind of just was like, wow, that's not been touched on before. Anything from you gentlemen on this character?
I would say this is another happy accident. The original design came out because we needed to reuse parts from Oscuro, right? So we said, okay, so we have to come up with another characters for this line. We want to do 6 characters. We can reuse some of these parts. And we took the boots and the chest. And the idea was, okay, let's do Arabian, sort of Indian, something like mixed thing that has reference from different culture. And we did just like an Arabian night of some sort. And that was our idea first. And then we were saying, okay, maybe we'll do repaints of this. And maybe one will be translucent and will be like is the genie version of him. And when we actually went to design the entire wave, the lineup, we said, why don't we just go with the genie version? Because it's different enough. Like, let's go with the most intriguing version we can do of these characters. And it was very successful. Everybody loved the idea. I mean, I had people in the industry telling me that that's the most interesting characters of the bunch, because it fits exactly what you were saying, Kreg. Like, it's kind of like a new character of a line that you already knows. Like,
absolutely.
Feels like, oh, it fits exactly this kind of products. And it's like, oh, maybe in 88, I got this new character and it fit perfectly that line.
Yes.
And also like having him translucent. And we planned it out in the first place that he was like smoked translucent, that he's semi-translucent.
Yeah.
And I actually printed him being fully translucent because in the beginning it just happened, and I planned to give him like a matte finish over so it get there. But once I had it in my hand and it was fully transparent, I just loved it. And it feels this having him translucent or transparent is a little action feature in itself.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
It is
amazing.
This is a gimmick right there in a figure that figures like that should have.
It's like it's a mystical element that really adds to it.
Yeah.
Is his turban removable?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Cool.
Yep.
And here's another detail that is shown not that often. He has a third eye underneath the turban, directly behind the little
No
diamond
way.
on his turban.
Exclusive info right here. See that? Wow.
There you guys go. Breaking exclusive news. Moving on to a character that is near and dear to my heart. Pantera. Sorry, I had to get that in there. No, but we will go to the real Pantera. How cool is that? Like, I don't know. There's something just so. I'm a horror movie buff, and there's just something so damn freaky about this figure. It's
an amazing piece. Yeah, that's an amazing figure.
It's funny because like you have your sword and sorcery stuff, but this has like a horror element to it, and it's freaky, man. I love everything about this. Its colors, its face. I wouldn't fuck with this thing in a dark alleyway. I love it. It's cool. All right, hit us with some Pantera.
Even that one, I know it's kind of disappointing to hear that, but some of the stuff like Karen came out of necessity. Like we had to fill this lineup, and we have this buck, the female buck we created for Yondara, and we had to reuse it. Yeah. So like many other lines in the 80s, we'd say, okay, we have a new head, a new accessory, new armor, but it's the same buck. But what we can do with colors and the accessories to make her look like a completely different character. And we did several color scheme. We tried many things. We had our first version, which was complained about too. So we changed her again, but we kept the core aspect of that color scheme, just different colors, but it's still the same feeling of it. And I don't know. Actually, I know some subliminal ideas I got. They are from a piece of concept art by Claudio Mazzoli, where Claudio Mazzoli did a lot of concept art for the Masters of the Universe movie originally and in production during the movie development. And I have some right here. Like I have a piece of original concept art here standing next to me.
It was him and William Stout, right?
Yeah, William Stout. It's right here. You can see a little.
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's.
I'm jealous. I'm a little bit jealous. That's awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic painting. I'm glad I got it. After many years, I knew about it. But I saw this other piece where there is this humanoid panther guy, which doesn't have any armor or anything. It's just a human panther guy. It's a piece of concept art. And that's stuck in my mind. And I wanted to do something like that. So I definitely was influenced by that piece of concept art. But this time I wanted to do a female figure, and instead of trying to do a human female character, just let's do a creature instead.
Now, is this a good character or a bad character?
It's a bad character. It works with Oscuro.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's again something kind of new that wasn't explored before, and Per did a wonderful Peer did a wonderful job with the sculpt. It's exactly what we wanted her to be, and the colors too. It's very easy to miss in the photos you see online, but when you see the figure, she has like this camo dots, like a real not cheetah, but like a felon. She has these camo dots on her legs and arms, black dots. So she's pretty cool figures. I'm very, very happy how she turned out.
She
now the question came up if she has a tail.
Yes.
And then we come back again to all this engineering stuff. So when you do such a toy line, you have to make sure that most of the parts are reusable, because cutting the tools for the product is extremely expensive. So you have to make sure that all the parts you will get from the factory are very versatile for many figures. Having a crotch piece for one figure that has a hole in the back or a tail already attached to it, you have such limited use for such a specific piece that right now we were not willing to afford that.
Glue it on yourselves, you lazy bums.
I'm sorry.
It opens up for the future, though, right? Because
Sure.
I mean, as you said originally, this is modular, so you should be able to maybe in the future have something down the road. I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't know.
No, but you're correct. Like we will do a crotch that can have a tails attachment to it.
Pierre's like, damn it, I gotta start sculpting that right now. Damn it.
No, actually, it's already in the planning to have a crotch piece that has a hole in the front and the back, so you can attach a tail in the front or the back.
Okay. I was looking at the last question about if she's going to have babies in the story.
You're gonna come out of the crotch piece with the hole in the front.
Like if
That's an add-on.
have kittens,
Yeah.
if there are kittens,
That's a ZoloCon exclusive. It's a baby clip-on piece.
that would be just great if she has just a little basket with some kittens in it.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be a great accessory for the next version.
kittens. Oh, now I want that. All right, the next line is Basket O Kittens by FORMO Toys. All right, so we have the last but not least figure in that wave. It's not really a figure, it's a Build-A-Figure, which so out of left field kick ass.
With it,
Look at that.
There's Unitor still missing.
yeah, Onitor. You skipped Onitor.
Did I? Is he in here?
Yes.
Did he load? Why did that not load in here?
Windows 98.
Yeah, you're
AOL people. AOL. Well, that's a fail on my behalf. Well, I get that picture. Let's talk about the damn armor.
All right.
I'm going to find that picture.
Peer, go ahead and explain about it.
Bing.
Yeah, this is a figure that I spared myself for sculpting last because there's so much detail on it, and to get it right was so intimidating for me that I really waited a long time for it to sculpt. But actually, when I started,
You want to go ahead and do that figure for? Yeah, let's do that.
This is this, yeah.
And this is something else.
Onitor, everyone.
Yeah, good one.
That's it. Good night.
That's beautiful. Wow, that is.
All right, so where is the influence on this one? Because this looks like just a demon from like ancient cultures. Like, I have no word.
It is. It's definitely inspired by an Oni, which is a Japanese demon. Well, the story about this figure is very simple. We had this wonderful Mark Taylor design that we definitely could use because we had his permission to use, because we asked it before he passed, and we had his permission to use it. There was a design that was never used anywhere else. Some people believe it's Webster, but it was never Webster. Absolutely, it has nothing to do with Webster.
That doesn't look anything to do with it, and neither did the concept before it.
It's just because of the position of the teeth and the big eyes.
They were snorting something before they saw that they wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's nothing to do with that at all.
So we really wanted to use that because we wanted to work with Mark, and we wanted to pay homage to what he did.
People are saying that looks like Webster. I don't see it.
Not this one. Not the Onitor anymore. But let's say somebody bitched about that too. That it was Webster. It was never. I know my history about.
Yeah, no, this is his own thing. He's cool, man.
Yeah, and so we had to change a design by Mark Taylor, and that was definitely something, intimidating. Like we have to live up with Mark to something that Mark Taylor created, which was always so archetypal and perfect. And we tried our best. We kept what we could from his design, and we redesigned a figure that could replace what he did. I choose to go into this Oni territory with the Japanese demons, etc. Because it looks cool, just because of that. And I did this new design. This didn't really take. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it didn't took many redesigns. Like I knew where I wanted to go. I did the design, hoping that was almost as cool as Mark's design, and I think the folks agreed that it was good enough. And Peer sculpted. It looked very good in 3D. When he did the prototype, he brought it to my home. The physical presence of the figure was perfect. Like, of course, we can't really transmit that to people just talking about it, but everybody has seen them in person at PowerCon or other conventions where we've been. I've seen this figure, and this presence is very good, very cool. It's something that you want to have because it looks great. And our friend Thorsten came up with the name Onitor. It was perfect. So we said, okay, let's go with it. And it worked. Peer's knocked it out of the park with the sculpt.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
And it was so relieving to see him finally coming together in the end, because, as we told, it was also an emotional piece to get done in the first place, of course, and then revisiting him and trying to get him as good as the original design was really a task and something you have to chew on, like on an emotional level.
Yeah.
So I'm especially happy that he came out the way he did.
The head sculpt is terrifying. It's unbelievable. That is actually one of the coolest head sculpts I've ever seen on a toy. So kudos.
Thank you.
This is incredible. Yeah, to see something retro and modern day like that with that type of head sculpt is wow. It's just there's a lot there. That's awesome.
Bringing up once more the armor,
the divine armor power.
I have only ever seen one toy line kind of really have cool armor. It was, I think, in the US, it was Knights of the Zodiac. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. This is 1,000 times cooler than that, because the colors, the design, this thing, I would wear this as a cosplay. This thing is cool as hell. I'm sure somebody's going to cosplay as this. And if you don't,
yes,
fail.
Please.
Yeah. This is so cool. Guys, any notes on this thing? Because give the future cosplayers a heads up.
Yeah, I mean, it was very intimidating to start sculpting on this because there are so many details and so many layers and stuff that is overlapping. But it just came together. It was a lot of work still, but when you get the right music going and you just get into the zone and doing one step at a time, it just came very nicely together. And there again, Emil shined with getting stuff in the different perspectives drawn in the first place, and they almost fit like always. That is,
the design of that is unreal, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing.
And people are saying that about the color scheme too, and that was one of the first things I noticed too. Emiliano, that was your color scheme for that, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Unreal.
Well, there is a whole
science
about the colors. Exactly. Thank you, Peer. It's like, how many colors do we pick for a figure?
Sure.
What is the amount of each color that we can use on each figure? Like, what is the right balance? Like, we have 3 colors that are predominant, one color that is the main color, then 2 more, then there are maybe 1 or 2 extras that are little details that stands out. So yeah, it's like studying the old toys, the way they were done. Well, some of these rules still apply. Like, if you look at some of these Diaclone figures or Masters of the Universe or Transformers figures I have in the background here, this still kind of use this like 4 colors
right
rules, but you have to understand it before you can use it. So it was a lot of trial and errors on them, and trying to find balance and then pick the right Pantone colors to go with it. But yeah, I mean, the Divine Armor is kind of simple because they are mostly basically primary colors is red, blue, and yellow. It's just like a slightly orange yellow, and the blue is metallic.
Oh,
but still
metallic.
There was a good question here, and I want to remark on this too. And they're saying, is this the first 5.5 Build-A-Figure? And
I don't know.
I want to think that if you're talking about pieces onto this, I want to say yes. I think this is the first 5.5 Build-A-Figure.
I don't know.
Because there's nothing in this size, in this scale factor, that actually came with extra parts to build an extra figure on the outside of it in 5.5. Yes, you had it in 6 and 7 inch, but not in 5.5. I've never.
That's true. That's true.
In 5.5, Alberto, I believe you're.
I'm Googling.
I believe you're 100% right, because it would be like. I think Legends maybe was the only.
If this would be a beneficial thing to have to be the first one in that format, my answer is yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah. I like it. But yes, I want to think it is. I want to think this is the first Build-A-Figure. I can't think of another series that actually came out before that.
And this form factor, definitely it is. I'm sure that the form factor is never had something like that.
Yeah, I've never seen it in all my, and I'm a okay excited.
I would love so much if Kreg is now busting you.
I had a theory, and I think I'm wrong. I thought it was. I could be wrong here. If someone wants to
come out,
I thought it was Knights of the Zodiac. I thought they all had a piece of the Black Series when they all had a piece of armor to build the cloth armor. But I think I'm actually wrong here, so I'll eat my hat if I'm wrong.
But that would be an actual armor, because that's something that we need to clarify for people, because of course they hear that is the Divine Armor, and people have been asking, is that an actual armor that you put on the figures? No, it's called Divine Armor because it's supposed to represent an armor, but the figure the toy itself is not an actual armor. It's not, although you can put it on top of the other figures.
Right.
It's a regular action figure like the other figures in the line. But the thing is, it's made of the same parts the figure are made. So the forearms, the shins are separated from the legs, etc. So you can pull that apart, and you can make a figure wear the armor by having the pieces replacing the regular pieces of one figure. So let's say Barbaro, you take the chest of the divine armor and you can just put Barbaro's legs and arms and head on the divine armor's chest.
Okay.
So he's wearing the chest of the armor. But that's our way to represent it, to represent an armor back in the day. It's cheap and easy, but it's kind of the way that probably would have done in the 80s. You know, that's always our train of thought into these figures. Like, if we have to do an action feature of a gimmick, or how would they have accomplished it in the 80s? So, like, even the technology behind something that we create has to be retrofitted to what was possible in the 80s. We don't want to do anything new or beyond the technology that was available back then. Maybe the ideas are new, but it's still within the realm of possibilities.
I was wrong though. No, the scale that I was thinking, I did my little Google. I'm sorry, I asked Jeeves that you guys are the first in that scale. I was wrong. The other one was much bigger. So congratulations on that.
Yeah. Too though, the divine armor itself, how many parts makes that?
It's 11 parts, I think.
Wow.
So you would get a part per figure that you buy.
Well, you get,
or is
you
it
get some figures have one part. Some figures have two parts. Like if you get, like a figure has the leg of the divine armor, you actually get two pieces: the shin with the foot and the thigh.
Oh, that's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's still two pieces. Yes.
So you're getting extra parts when you're getting the figure, so you're able to interchange those with your existing figure that it is now that you could use. And I think the other question would be, do you know, is it a set figure that's going to come with set parts, or it's going to be random across the board? Like, let's say
it's not.
Barbaro that's going to come with. Does he come?
No. It's absolutely not random, because we want to make sure that everybody that bought a full set from us can build the van.
Gets a set and just ends up with 6 left arms.
Buy more.
And there we also get like the full spin around to the beginning of this episode, where you were asking about the name of Legend of Dragonore. Dragonore is actually the ore that the metal is made of to create the divine armor of power.
Yeah.
What?
That's great.
Yeah,
Dude. Okay, that's so much cooler. Okay, rock and roll.
So there
Okay.
you go.
and this complete
Holy
armor,
shit, there's a lot of fun
first
in there.
armor that is from the characters in the lore is explored to have this ancient powers, and everyone is trying to get hold of this armor of power. So the most interesting question might be, who ends up with a crotch of power?
Oh, that's got to be Mike. Oh my God. So everyone, listen, after hearing all this, seeing the photos and everything, pre-orders are open now for 24 hours. Go buy them. These are so cool, and get them before they're on eBay, because we've all made that mistake where we're like, oh, I'll just press buy it now later. And then a month later, you're like, shit, and you're on eBay and you're spending triple the amount of money that you were going to spend for a pre-order. Support the artists. FORMOtoys.com. Get them now. 24 hours.
Avoid getting scalped now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could buy 2 sets now for the price that you're going to pay in a month.
or more.
So then you could go and scalp them. See, I'm helping the scalper.
Your chance to turn
eBay.
this around.
Keep taking your 20% eBay. Fucks. let's see here. How many figures were made with the original concepts?
Like actually produced?
Yeah.
I guess. Well, none. We didn't get in production with the original figures. We didn't get that far.
I think the question
With
was
Kreg, we did.
how many figures were originally planned? I think was the
Right.
question. Yeah, not produced.
Oh, okay. Well, there were still 6. Most of the concepts we developed for future waves are still usable for future waves, and actually we have some of them in our next waves. We're still tweaking them, but our tweaks are not really because of legal issues. We're trying to be very conscious about what we tool, and so we try to make sure any part that we tool, we can use it combined with other parts to form different characters. So that's why we're still tweaking our ideas.
Really cool question now that's burning in my mind. Will there be down the road a female armor?
Definitely, yes. Yes, we want to do them.
Good question.
I'm not sure. Like we discussed it. Like is it each wave going to have a divine armor split?
Yeah.
Wave 2, yes. We plan to do it for a few waves, but we also have other ideas that we'd like to explore, where we have different stuff coming with each wave. So yes, we'll keep doing divine armors because there are many armors in this world and in different dimensions, and our characters are trying to find them. But there are also other things that we have in mind that may be cool to explore as in toy form. So we'll have some waves with the divine armor, some waves with other things. But yes, a female divine armor is something that we definitely want to do.
That is so. Like, I mean, I'm reading the comments off to the side here, and people are freaking out about the female armor. That's who does that? That's amazing. And I guess the final thing I'm really going to bring up here and really just drive you crazy about. I know I had previously drove Peer crazy, melting and going fangirling over this. Was this bad son of a bitch right here? Yo, oh my god. Let's talk about the dragon in the room here. This thing took everyone by surprise. I think at PowerCon you unveiled it. Was that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So anything you guys want to talk about on this, the floor is yours. This thing is a masterpiece. It's art. Take down the Mona Lisa, put this thing up. This thing rocks. Burn the Mona Lisa, put this up. This is the new Queen of England right here, everyone.
Yeah, and unlike the Mona Lisa, this thing will be affordable.
Nicolas Cage is going to steal this next. Oh, that was the declaration of whatever history. Who cares? We care about toys only. So let's talk about this thing. Where did this guy come from? This came out of left field.
Yeah, I mean, the line is called Legends of Dragonore, so we felt like we should have some dragons on the line, right?
You gotta.
Yeah, you go ahead. Just tell the story about it.
I mean, the design work was good, so start with that stuff, and I kick in when it comes to sculpting and how much of a pain you were.
Right. Okay. Well, this it wasn't another happy accident. It was something that was designed like that, but it wasn't planned from the beginning. Like I was playing with the idea of modular parts, etc. So I was trying to figure out how to create some different scales of figures using the kind of the same modular parts. Not every part is going to be perfectly modular with the others because of the sides. Like, let's say the chest of the dragon, for example, is probably going to be too heavy to be a hold with the regular peg that the other parts have. So maybe in that case, we'll have to use a bigger one, but that will also become a standard for other bigger creatures. But yeah, we definitely wanted to explore different scales, different creatures. So I started doing sketches about dragons and like how to split them in parts that can be reconfigured in different characters and maybe even different modes. So we have a dragon that is standing on 4 legs, but by changing a few pieces or rearranging some of the parts within the necks and the tail, you can have a character that is standing on 2 feet.
Right.
And we all said, well, that's pretty cool. Maybe we should go with that. That's really how it went. Like, oh, this is very nice. Let's try this. Let's show it. So we got excited about it. I did a couple of designs. We're still working on this stuff, and say, okay, let's have this for PowerCon. Let's have this as a like the next product we'll have before Wave 2, because we don't want people to commit to an entire new wave until we ship the first one. But we cannot really wait for Wave 1 to start production on something else as a part of the line, because that will mean nothing will come out for 9 months every time. So we had to come up with something new, something different. So, okay, let's do like 2-3 dragons we offer in an extra wave that is separated from the regular figures. So we said, let's go with it. And said, Peer, you want to sculpt this for PowerCon? Are you able to do it in time?
Yeah, and then of course, before that, we were trying, as Emil said, different approaches on this kind of figure and steed, animal, beast, deluxe thing. And then we came across with this design, and I really liked it. And then I had, I don't know, little time left. And I just to calm myself down, I said, you know what, best case scenario, we would have like 2 versions of it, some in quadruped mode and some just upright. Fully painted.
They could ride this too.
Yep.
They could be it. They can be it. That's the beauty of it. You can actually interchange that.
Oh, you can interchange them.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can be that dragon. How crazy is that?
I mean, after a few pills and, a little something, you can be a dragon at any time.
When we can wear privacy, we can be dragons. And
a little absinthe, and you are the dragon.
And then I had just a few weeks left to sculpt it, print it, clean it up, paint it, and get it working. Yeah.
You designed the weapon because we had no weapon.
We had no weapon at that point. So usually I can't help myself, but when I have a little bit of free time, I started creating some accessories or just trying to get some of my ideas somewhere in it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it's just crappy. But in this case, the weapon worked. And yeah, I'm very proud of this piece because it really came out very nice. I like every part of it.
So would you say that the weapon has dragon ore in it, or is that flame? That's flame, right?
This is flame.
Again, AOL, I can't see shit. So,
but I would say,
folks,
I don't know if you agree, Peer, but this was kind of like easier than the other figure. Like we didn't have to go to fix stuff, to go back and forth and tweak stuff like anatomy, etc. On this one,
The beautiful thing about this figure is that this is a figure on its own. When you change stuff on the other figures, it might have consequences for the other guys that you are meant to interchange with. So if you change something on the glove of one figure, you have to make sure it still fits on the other guys.
Oh yeah.
With the dragon, it is just the dragon, and it just has to fit upright and on its all fours.
Now, Mike, you deal with that with Realm of the Underworld stuff. Like every figure has to have that perfect interchangeability.
Yeah. So but this is a whole nother level, man. This is a whole nother level. What you're talking about is a complete modular system, and I am so excited to see how this turns out. I just
said early on, I can't promise that every combination will work out. Some situation might have slipped me. I'm sorry.
I think we're
future customer. I'm sorry.
The dragon head has to come out of the front of the crotch. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's yeah. You want to make sure.
That is the version with the 2 holes in it. The crotch.
Crotchman. Great. Now I've just started a problem. People are going to be messaging you guys. Hey, where's Crotchman? Crotch Dragon. Somebody come up with a better name. I'm burned.
We have to leave some room for the customizers. So
there you go. Well, that's kind of the big selling thing too. Is like people want to always make stuff. Like even as kids, teenagers, 20, 30, 40. We're still customizing shit from when we were kids because ideas never stop. And this line is just in its infancy, and it's going to keep brainchilding not only past you guys, but to the fans.
And that's what we hope.
Nothing would make me more happy than to see people feeling that inspired by our toys, that they actually start doing their own custom figures and really want to integrate themselves and their thinking and their creativity in our toy line. That would be every time. I mean, there are a few guys that already did it, that made their own Barbaro.
See, you did it now. Welcome to New York.
You infected me. And that was already like, wow, that is just so great.
Yeah, to see the customs. Yeah. And definitely, like, I'm comparing this to Diaclone. I collect Diaclone figures from Takara. And there are all sorts of modular, and they're interchangeable, and you can do a lot of stuff with these figures. And there is a group on Facebook that I follow where you just see builds that they create with different parts of these figures. So it will be nice at one point where we have enough parts, enough figures to see people starting creating their own characters, putting stuff together with the many parts we have.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
There it is.
Yeah.
We got a really good question here. We know that the castle is going to be a cardboard playset. Down the road, will there be another one, or is it too early to discuss that?
Yes, it's too early, but we want to do it.
Cool. And that doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't buy the cardboard one. Buy it, because if it doesn't, you're going to regret it. Like I regret when I don't pre-order stuff all the time. So.
And it also doesn't mean that it could never be crossovers.
Yeah. Well, here's the plain truth about playsets. They are super expensive to produce. Like,
oh God, yeah.
Because the molds are like, if we're talking this big, the mold is going to be like, you can't see my hands, but the piece of steel that holds that thing is, and it's not just one part, there are multiple parts and all the accessories. So compared to a figure, it's exponentially more expensive.
We're gonna have to make a mold out of the trunk of the car. Just rip the car thing out and
go out. Yeah.
So of course we want to do the castle. Definitely we want to do the castle, but we have to see if the audience is there. Now, I believe, we all believe that the audience for our line will grow in time. Like, we are small and we sold a decent amount of figures. I'm confident that this number will increase with time because people will get the figures in their hands. They'll start sharing them. They'll put reviews out. So more people will get excited. So I think we'll do better later. We have to see how good we will do and how much money we can put into something that is going to be expensive, because it's not going to cost as much as a place that you can buy at Walmart, because number will be very, very small for a playset. But of course, we want to do it. We'll try our best to do it. It probably will be a more regular crowdfunding.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, this wave one was sort of crowdfunding thing because we had to hit a certain number, and we did. We went beyond that. But the castle will have to say, okay, this is what we need to produce it.
Right.
We'll try to do it.
You might want to invite Pimp Daddy next time because he has all the questions.
He's rocking these questions, man.
Dad's going crazy with this. I like it.
All right, so we're gonna just shout it out right here. What's the odds of getting accessory packs? Because now Pimp Daddy has wanted me to purchase one right now from you guys. So take my money. PVC cauldrons, crystal balls, treasure chests, pickaxes, shovels, telescopes, extra wands, swords.
It's already on the list.
Yeah.
We definitely want to do that. The more stuff we can get on the figures, the more colorful it will get, and that is definitely something that I would love to see, just to get beautiful and weird shit that the figures can sport.
I am excited about this now. This is, I mean, who doesn't love, mixing and matching figures or whatever that are, especially in the same scale too, and giving random
accessory packs, they were the same weapons you already had, just in a different color. That is something that wouldn't work for me, because if I get an accessory pack, I want unique stuff in there. I want to be excited at the accessories you get. So, of course, for cost reasons, you have to do some stuff that is just a reshot of something.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to have some really exciting stuff in there.
But I think use of glow in the dark and use of translucent does things an injustice, and if you call that a repaint, right? I think that if you want to build something that will have different colors, because now you have the customizers that want to use that, and instead of, and I don't mean a different color, I'm saying not a different painted color, but a different shot color, and let's just say you do a green translucent instead of blue.
Yeah,
sure.
I think that something like that would work without even having to worry about a different paint is per se, you just use it for that, or glow in the dark. I mean, people go crazy over glow in the dark and different colors to glow in the dark. So I had this conversation just recently with a legendary sculptor, someone from the 80s and 90s that was doing this, and he had the same thing to say, is that you can't use the same things over. And I was like, well, you can, but you want to. Yeah, Kreg was part of that conversation. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there's
by the apes.
Yeah, apes by the That's going to be a whole nother story.
That's going to be a story for another day.
Yeah, that's totally. But yeah, he'd done sculpting way back when, and he did most of the stuff that we remember as our childhood.
Awesome stuff.
Not talking about Eddie either. It's another side you probably would know. Actually, Emiliano, you probably know him. Larry, from the 80s. He's done a lot of the sculpting for Hasbro, for Terminator and that.
Kenner, Aliens, Predator.
No, I don't know the sculptor, but I probably know the toys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Legend.
So all his stuff was about doing new stuff. You want to do a brand new mold for this, and a brand new mold for this, and and after you're done, you're thinking my eyes are just this wide, because I'm thinking, how do you sell so many pieces to, because tooling is just so darn expensive, and you're doing so many different pieces. And he said to me, well, it's a darn knockoff when you go ahead and you make this over and over, and I'm thinking to myself, like, my line is all that. What are you talking about? You know, like, so he's slapping me around, like, just but he didn't know. He had no idea that he was, so
it was brutal.
Yeah, I was about to go there too, because I want to have.
Please go.
I want to have all this exciting new stuff, and I'm usually in our group. I'm the guy who's like, yeah, we just one more thing, like one original thing, and the other have to go like, you know what? Do you want to pay for that? Can you pay for that? And I'm like, maybe not. Maybe it's not that important. But in the end, you have to sell it and get your money back out of the production process.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's awesome just to be able to change the colors because these are interchangeable, it gives you every single option to change and create new characters based off of just colors. I mean, and your sculpture, your overall sculpture is amazing. Like, I love it. It just screams 5.5. It has the every embodiment of barbarian you could ever look at, and there's no reason, to not play with the colors and not play with this stuff. So I love it. I love it. Even the female characters. It's mind boggling. Like, just to see how many options you have, and it's great. It's great.
Well, last but not least, before we jump to our next segment here, I'm gonna just play roundtable here, and each one of us will answer favorite character
in our line.
Yeah. I'm playing devil's advocate. You have to pick your favorite child.
That's true. I would say the divine armor, though, because
cool.
It's something that I always wanted to do. Like I said, why is nobody trying to use Jack Kirby visuals and shapes vocabulary to create new toys? And for me, it was a no-brainer. Like, I love what Jack Kirby was able to do. Without copy any of his stuff, let's just use the same process, the same shapes, the same details to create something new in that style. So for me, it was like, let's do this. And I like how it turned out. I think it's very unique. Like, that's something you haven't seen. Like, other than the Lords of Light by Super 7, where they used the Lords of Light designs Kirby did for the movie that what the CIA was involved with, etc. Nobody has done toys in that style. I mean, this is directly the Fourth World figures trying to mimic that style, and they're beautiful figures. I love them, but that was just trying to repeat specific characters. Here we wanted to use that style, that specific style, how he put shapes together. And nobody has tried that without actually replicating something that he did.
Sure.
And I don't feel bad about, like, I'm not ripping off his work. I'm just trying to get in his mindset, which is pretty intimidating, trying to get in Jack Kirby's mindset and trying to reproduce the process of designing a character. It was fun. I did a bunch of them. I hope I'll be able to do more. Like,
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would bet you he doesn't mind.
Maybe it will be flattered, but I don't know. I don't feel bad because I'm not really copying anything, but
that's the spirit.
I'm homaging the spirit of his creations, and I think that they make up for great visuals. And it was a shame that nobody had ever thought about that, and we want to go in that direction with these and possibly other toys.
Sure.
Or other parts of Legends of Dragonore later on.
Couldn't have said it better. I love that armor. It is just so kick-ass, and everyone better buy one to get one. Peer, who is your favorite child here?
For me, it's only Thor, because for me it was just on an emotional base. It was the most,
I could say the detail in the head too is like just
it was just getting from Mark's idea away to something else, and the emotional journey for me was the most. It had the most fear to satisfaction span for me, and so it has a special place in my heart.
What's yours? Favorite characters of our tournament?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot, huh? All right, I'm going to say I'm gonna say Pantera. Everything about this figure just hits all the right notes for me. Between the kick-ass name, Metalheads Unite, and you know what? I'm a Thundercats guy, so Kitty Power too. But there's just something terrifying about this figure. It is literally terrifying looking. It hits all the right notes. Like I was just saying to Mike actually recently, like I've gotten more selective as I've gotten older with figures, and they have to hit the right notes. This whole line that you guys did hits the right notes, but it was really truthfully this figure that I was like, damn, like I have to have that. And then I was like, well then fuck it, I'm gonna have them all. I need them all. Mike, what about yourself? Now I'm putting you on the spot, buddy.
But you're skipping. You were just skipping.
Was I? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm like Max Headroom.
Yeah, you got to fix that internet, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, that's. I get it. You and that real player over there. All right, so.
Am I skipping bad?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, that's for something.
Great.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So, I'd say between Pantera and I like Karim. I think that is a really cool piece. I think the translucent always sells me on things, and this is something that's really amazing. The choice between the cloth, and I love that accessory. I know a lot of people's going to be like, whoa, what? But that accessory to me is awesome. That's a lamp on the end of a staff. And that is just, it's awesome. It's just crazy. And seeing that in person, I was like just locked in even more when I looked at that. So, and I also like the other female character that we saw here. It is trying to remember her name now.
Yandara.
Yandara, yeah.
Yandara, yeah. I like.
You can't pick three, Mike. You can't pick three.
No, it would be Kareem. I would say this is
yeah.
I like that a whole lot. That character is really cool.
Yeah, that lamp on the staff grants wishes too, assuming your wish is getting bruised.
Just 3 wishes or infinite?
Getting bruised, it's infinite.
Here we go here. She's badass. I agree with you, Nick. So now we're going to jump to the hold on. Cool here. Pimp Daddy's back in action. They're all awesome. I can't wait to stick them in the lake in the woods and take some pics. Yeah, when you do, you're going to have to absolutely start tagging people.
Yeah, just tag people. We'll be more than happy to share them here. I'll share them on the Realm page as well. You found us on YouTube finally. That's great, Nick. That's great.
So the next part of our segment, I guess I'll just give one final plug here that everyone needs to go to. If I could ever find the damn ticker tape, boom, at the bottom. There we are. FORMOtoys.com, #Legends of Dragonore. And then you're going to have a special pre-order time. You have 24 hours left to get these before they are $9 billion. Quote me on that $9 billion on eBay. Get them here. Get them now. FORMOtoys.com. Support these awesome artists. If not, we will find you. Okay? You don't want us to find you. FORMOtoys.com. Get them now. Get them while they're fresh. Get them before they're $1 billion. How's that for a plug? Holy shit.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was good. I was actually getting scared a little bit. I'm glad I got 10 sets.
We will find you, confront you with our disappointment.
What do you call it? So my next thing here, we're going to jump to the thing that got us in hot water with some Todd McFarlane guy, but we're going to jump to our next segment, and I'm going to put Peer and Emiliano on the spot. Mike, you're going to be on the spot too, because I also have my terrible toy memory for this week. And for those of you at home that don't know about Terrible Toy Memories, it is a small tale of a toy memory that could be last week. It could be when you were a child. and you guys should actually send us messages so we can air your terrible toy memories here. Anything that affected you as a child that still bothers you to this day, or now with your terrible toy memory. So that being said,
wait. Got him back a couple weeks ago. That was my first terrible toy memory, if you can remember. Got him back. There we go.
Mike got his terrible toy memory rectified, and that's good. So without further ado, the clip that got us in trouble with everybody. Terrible toy memories.
Your fault, because you hired them.
Now it's time for Terrible Toy Memories on Mike and Kreg versus the past. Let's tell some stories about these terrible toy memories.
All right.
Well, she's dead.
What?
So who's up first? Peer looks mortified.
There was this one time when I was hired as an actor to play a panda bear in a commercial.
Oh, that was good.
Wow, you just gave me smoker's lung, and I don't even smoke. Holy crap! Nicely done. Oh my god!
I'm not seeing the problem.
Oh my!
That getting us in trouble. Okay, so who's up for terrible toy memory? Mike, we're gonna have you start the game.
All right, so everybody knows my Skullman story, so I'm not gonna go back into that again. But let's go ahead and do this one. Way back when, I bought Toys and Things, I believe, was the company that did it, and I could be way off right now. I did drink some vodka earlier. So they came out with a line called Ninja Assassins and Ninja Defense. You guys can remember those, right? They're large style action figures, sort of like they had the same play features as like Thundercats, right? You'd hit a button. Hold on a second. So anyway, I had this guy here. This is Terminator, actually not based off of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator. I don't mean that one. I mean this one. This was Terminator based in the day, right? So they have this little play feature where they have this arm. I think he's broken actually, but yeah, well, he's still moving, right? So they would do that same type of play feature that LJN had, and these are built really like shit, right? So I was
everything LJN did was shit.
Figures right before dinner, you know, I'd be like right into this thing, and it'd be just a single figure I'd play with too. It's kind of weird. It's like one figure. There you go. There you have it. Okay, so I want them on the card. It's a little bit difficult to find. So here I am playing with this figure, and I'm fucking sweating. Like I was sweating profusely because I'd get into this shit. My dad runs in the room and he's like, "Mike, gotta eat. It's time to eat." And I'd get upset because I was at that fucking part of my story that I didn't want to leave. So I got upset and I threw the figure down. It broke into like 18 different pieces, and that was the end of it. And I never found one for years because, you know, this was like the 80s. You're not going back to the store to find one of those because once they had them, they're off the shelves, and that's a knockoff. It's very hard to find. So there's my terrible toy memory.
That was terrible. I'm sorry.
That hit me right here. I guess I'll go next. Mine was actually maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, because it was after our first show. I was cleaning my shelf, and I took my childhood Skullman figure, my Remco Skullman, which is the only Remco figure I had. And he's been with me since '84. And I'm cleaning him as I start moving him just to like kind of like clean, because he was like sticky. I guess like the plastic gets sticky, like all my He-Man toys.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to clean it. I turned the leg and the loincloth just cracked. Like it just split up and it ruined everything. So I'm sitting here like not knowing like, what do I do? Do I burn the world down? Like, what do I do? Like 45 Xanax later, I text Mike and I'm like, what do I do? He's like, I don't know, just replace the crotch. I'm like, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. So Mike talked me off a bridge. Thank you, Mike. Eventually, you know, Skullman will live again. He will be new and approved with new hips, just as most of us do when we get older, 40. But that being said, yeah, that was my terrible toy memory. I actually lost one night's sleep over my poor Skullman. R.I.P. Hips, crotch. You know, maybe actually I'll take the FORMO crotch when you do it with the interchangeable front and back. And he'll be better than ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one of you gentlemen would like to share your terrible toy memory next?
Coming up with terrible stories about stuff that you love is not that easy. I remember that. I don't know what birthday it was, but I was in preschool or something, and I got for a birthday, I got an Ewok from Kenner, Logray. And I love that figure a lot, like really a lot, because he was sort of cool with this shaman stuff, and still he was a cute bear, so I really liked it a lot. So because I was so proud having him, I took him to school, and I lost him.
No.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
that was horrible. I came to school and I wanted to show him to my friends, and it was just not in my backpack anymore. It was just gone.
Did you
and I
ever
was
buy a
devastated.
new?
Funnily,
You got a new one?
no. Yes, he was lost.
Yo, set someone up with this guy a log right here.
And now I have one, of course. But
Oh,
back
okay.
then,
Oh, you bought it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Back then I didn't got a new one, but like 20 years later, I met one of my old buddies from school back then, and he was telling me that he had the best school day when he found a Logray on the sidewalk.
Wow. He found your Logray.
Yeah, and I was like,
Did he still have it? Did he still have it, or like he threw it out?
no, he still had it, and he gave it to me.
Wow. That's not a terrible toy memory.
Yeah, that's
for,
what
for my little me, it was a terrible thing, the most terrible thing that happened. It was later that, yeah.
Holy!
Of course, that was the fun part. I'm sorry. It ended well, Emiliano.
I can't believe you got it back.
After 20 years, that's an amazing story.
I was meant to have it.
Emiliano, you're up, man.
I'm trying to remember if I actually had a very bad time with something. I remember a couple of things that were disappointing, but I wouldn't say they were terrible. I was a lot into Japanese robots and heroes from Tokusatsu series, etc. Sentai heroes and stuff like that. And I remember I got Megaloman, which is a weird character. I had this live action series, so it was this guy in a suit being a giant creature fighting big monsters, like many of these Sentai series. The cool thing about this guy was that he had this long white hair, and when he was fighting the monsters, at the very end, his hair will catch fire, and he will do this move, and it will fire a fireball to the monster, towards the monster, with his hair like really moving. And
Are you making this up?
no. If you look Megaloman on YouTube, you'll find it. And
you got medication as a kid, right?
What?
You got medication as a kid.
I did. But it's not really that popular in Japan, but we got it in Italy. They imported some of this Sentai stuff, dubbed it, and we got him, and it was super popular. It had an awesome Italian song as the theme, the intro theme. So a company called Cepirati was importing the figures, and there were different sizes. There were like this small, then like a 6 inches something,
Sure.
and even bigger one. And they were plastic, and I think the die cast part, because of most of the Japanese stuff. Yeah, that's him.
That's fucking terrifying, dude.
That thing looks really, really crazy.
Yeah, that's it. And the figure had, actual hair, like this long white hair. And I got one, played with it for a day, and it had ball jointed hips. And by the middle of the day I got it, the hip joints broke. And I was pretty disappointed. Like, I was like, not even a full day of having that figure.
Maybe
Now I'd like to. What? Sorry.
He failed you.
Yeah. Now I would like to replace him, because, like, in the past, well, since COVID hit, I've been like buying toys that I didn't have when I was a child, or I had when I was a child and they got broken or something.
Sure.
But I looked for him, and it's super expensive. That figure is crazy expensive. No, it's impossible to replace. I mean, I got another one that I went to the toy store because I really wanted this robot, but it was sold. Another guy, Titan 3. It was sold out, so I got another one, which was absolutely awesome too. But I really wanted that Titan, not Strider G7. Now, like a few months ago, I got the Titan 3 I wanted as a kid. Then I said, okay, I'm gonna get also, and that was like 250 euros. So not cheap, but affordable for a Japanese robot, a vintage robot. Definitely affordable. With the box and the foam, etc. Usually they are very expensive. Now I wanted also to get the Strider G7 that I got in place of Titan when I was a kid. That is like at least $1,500 or euros to get.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe not now.
Well, the whole thing here on Mike and Kreg versus the Pest is we like to upset our guests. So there you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Oh, so that was a normal thing that happened with these.
Yeah,
it was very, very brittle. Yes.
So I guess the question is, though, is it like that? Do you think kids made that hair catch on fire? Do you think they lit it up with a match? And
the hair, maybe some.
It was totally expecting that to happen. That you were playing with it and trying to recreate the fireball hair thing. Trying to figure it out and being totally disappointed that wasn't real.
If you want to have fun, watch a clip of the entire thing where he's fighting the monster, and he has this special move where he had this hair, going around his head and launching the fireball. That's pretty fun.
Well, I am a Sentai fan. So I'm going to probably end up watching the whole thing. One of my favorite movies is a Japanese movie called Inframan, and it's so terrible that it's good. So, yeah, I'm probably going to watch this whole thing. So thank you.
So, and of course, like for being a metalhead, someone whose fighting skill is headbanging.
I'm old now. I got dead, discs in my neck from all the years of
Yeah, well, wait until you watch it, because it definitely doesn't feel like he's headbanging. It's like he's twisting his whole body. It's more like a ballet thing. It's pretty weird.
Oh, God. Well, no, I'm actually pretty excited to see that. And last but not least, we're going to open it up to a quick Q&A, because we have just hit over 2 hours. God, time flies with you guys.
Wow.
We're just having a lot of, this is too much fun.
It's 3 a.m. here.
Oh my God, get this man to sleep. Does anyone have any last minute questions? This man deserves some sleep. He is a hardworking man. You got 30 seconds to ask Emiliano.
We're in the same time zone here, so
Peer, what time is it over there?
3 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Let's get these guys to sleep. You know what?
And it gets to bed at 9 usually.
Forget the Q&A. You people don't deserve. You people don't deserve FORMO toys.
If we have questions, I'm fine with it. My night is ruined anyway.
Yeah, pimp. It's been. I say that so casually. Welcome to 2020. Yeah, pimp. It's been 2 hours. Yeah. No. If anyone has any questions, speak now or forever.
Any other questions?
Well, I'll give it like maybe a minute or two for lag, and then we'll do that. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this has been fantastic, guys. I want to say thank you so much for coming on and wanting to do this. It was a lot of fun, and we planned this out for a little bit. Unfortunately, Josh couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would look forward in the future we'll do another one, like I said, and we'll see if we can match up to everybody's schedules. Hopefully, it won't be too late for you. So.
Yeah, we'll work around you guys next time. I feel really crappy that that's 3 a.m. That sucks.
Could be worse.
If it's like past 12 o'clock and the world was ending, I'm going to sleep. I don't care. Whatever.
Okay. One more thing, guys. Remember that there is when will we see Wave 2 Protos? Let's go ahead and put that up.
Wave 2 Protos are pretty far away right now. I would say we want to be fair to people. By the time we'll show prototypes, we will start pre-orders pretty soon, pretty shortly after we show the prototypes. So that would be very close to when the figures start shipping. So the Wave 1 starts shipping. So the figures are supposed to start shipping in March 2023. We know there are always delays. We want to say that, expect delays because everything is crazy around the world right now. So there will be delays. I hope that we will be able to ship around that time, but I expect delays. So, you guys have to expect delays too. It's out of our control. Like, when they put people in lockdown in China and they can't go to the factory to work, that happens right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot control that. But it doesn't look like it happened to our factory. I don't know if it happened, but it happens all around China right now. So, that's a possibility. And there are power shortages and even supplies shortages. Everything can happen. Is out of our control. But that said, we'll like to show prototypes right before Wave 1 ships, so we can start pre-orders right after that. But before that, we will show our Dragons wave at one point before the end of the year. That's for sure.
Kick ass. Last question of the night, packaging style. What can we expect here?
We showed the front of the packaging.
Okay.
If you scroll through our Facebook or Instagram or Twitter accounts, you will see a digital mock-up of the packaging. It's a regular blister card. There is the cardboard on the back. There is the bubble on the front. It will be pretty standard. We want to replicate that style of packaging. We should have the piece of the Divine Armor right in front of you, like on the side of the figure. We'll try to show people that you also get a piece of the Divine Armor. It doesn't really make sense because you already bought it, so we're not really trying to win you, but it's part of the fun, like you get the figure and it looks like it's something that was sold in the shop. So we're trying to do that too. On the back of the card, we will have cross-sell photos of the figures. I admit I wanted to paint illustrations for all the cross-sell. That seems to be out of the possibilities right now because I just don't have enough time to paint them. But it will still be a retro style kind of card in the back, and we'll have artwork created specifically for each figure. I'm not ready to announce some of the artists yet, but we have at least 2 pretty popular comic book artists that are maybe 3 that are going to illustrate some of the card art. So stay tuned. We'll announce them when we're ready.
That is kick ass. I'm actually pretty excited to see what artists you got. So that being said, I want these fine gentlemen here to get to bed. What do you call it? Oh yeah, someone asked. Oh no, we can't announce anything yet because Axel's getting a shout out here. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add? We have 500 billion people. I'm sure I'm skipping around right now.
There's a lot of questions here. I think the one is that I would just probably finish with would probably be, will there be any kind of snake men? And will all beasts be their own individual figures and be able to have characters ride them?
Oh, a riding snake would be killer.
I don't know, Pierre, would you want to say something about it?
Just the last
I'm
question,
still
guys.
trying to understand this question.
Well, okay. Let me say this. You saw the dragons. Part of the design process that went on in the dragons, and you can, if you look at the figures, the photos from PowerCon, you can see how the tail and the neck share parts. And you kind of create a snake with enough of these parts. Of course, with the dragons, there will be random colors. You can't really do it, but the potential is there. And I'm sorry, I was looking at the other question. So these dragons was designed, the dragon back was designed to be reusable in multiple ways. We haven't got there yet. We have designs for many different things that are not just figures, not necessarily vehicles or big creatures. We want to expand the line more in the modular aspect of it. And we kind of have a lot of ideas already. Nothing is completely fleshed out. It's like the castle. We have to wait how much money we can make to invest into molds to make that happen. But it's part of the plans. If the line keeps going and it makes money, we can put more money into molds and create new stuff. It's the same for action features. To make it really feel like an 80s line, we would like to have mechanisms and spatial features built into the figure. But that require unique molds, that require engineering, etc. So we can do certain things that are easy, mechanisms that are pretty basic. But if we want to get into more complicated stuff, again, we have to get to a point where we can afford it.
Yeah.
And keep the price the same. Like, we don't want, here is a special figure, you have to pay more. No, we want to get to the point where we can sell the same figure, the same price point, but with a figure that has more stuff. That depends on the number of figure you can sell mostly.
So basically, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get there. But
exactly.
Yeah, so going back to the snakes, it's possible the dragon and the dragon parts were designed to kind of fit into the possibility of doing snakes or snake-like creatures too. There was a part of the question that was dealing with how the figures rides them, but I'm not sure I got it. Can you bring it back up?
Mike, that's all you.
There was
because we tried to clarify. I got distracted. I didn't read.
I don't even know what the hell's going on. I don't know where I am.
I
When
wasn't
it was up on
listening.
the screen. When he was talking, I was like, "Oh, this will be the last one." And here you go. Here, I think I got it here.
It's 3 a.m. here too.
All right, see, will we get Snake Man? Okay, I guess. All right, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, where is this?
Justin, look at the chaos you've created. Damn you.
It's like he probably already deleted the question.
Well, it was something about like if the
Oh,
figure.
here.
Sometimes always be their own individual figure and be able to have other characters write them.
Now I got it. Ha!
Can we ride Barbaro?
Oh man.
No, all beasts, like all the bigger figures so far, the dragons we have will all be able to be an individual figure and have serve as a steed too. And
Okay, kick ass.
Yeah. Others, it depends. Yeah, of course, the fun part is to make them steeds where figure can ride them, but that's not necessarily the case for every figure. We may do monsters or other creatures that are not supposed to be read them.
That was the question right there.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, we come up with new ideas for shapes, accessories, and characters basically on a daily basis. I always have my sketchbook right next to me to when I have just a quick idea, and if it's just a little shape or a little accessory, I try to sketch that down real quick so I don't forget about it. And right now we have already a huge collection of all sorts of aspects and ideas for figures and accessories. And of course, if you're into Snake Man, who isn't? So this is in the realm of possible.
Yeah, we're not short of ideas. We're just short of money right now. But
money, time, and hands.
yes.
It's always the problem, right? So I think that's the last question. Mike, do you have anything to add to this show?
Actually, good. I think what we're going to do is maybe when you're on you get something new and you're ready to show off some of your prototypes and stuff. If you guys would like to come back, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot more people wanting to ask questions for next time, and we'll work around your schedule so we get Josh in and everybody. And it'll be a whole lot of fun. But I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and actually being part of this. This was a whole lot of fun. I just can't wait for these. Like I said, I stand behind them. I'm 100%, and I know you guys are going to be so impressed with the quality when you see this, because I know what the capability of this is, and I cannot wait to hold one of these figures. You guys have finished. It's going to be amazing.
This is one of the most unique and refreshing toy lines to come out in years. And I truly do mean that, not blowing smoke up your asses because you're here or that we know you guys. It's literally such a cool, perfectly encapsulated throwback that this is going to be a huge thing. And we wish you all the success in the world with this. And we're cheering you on 24/7 with this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Mike, for all the help that you have given us so far. And I mean, this may be happening in a different way, but the way it's happening is also thanks to you, to your help and your advices. So we owe you big time for this. So it's great that this is happening thanks to a lot of people that are collaborating, because we all love doing this kind of stuff. We are all into doing our own ideas, etc. We're like all independent designers and toy creators. So it's just cool that we help each other doing this stuff. And like FORMO, like we said since the beginning, FORMO is hopefully supposed to be a place where artists can come and like pitch their ideas, and we will try to make them happen. Of course, we have to figure out how to do that. Like you cannot just start asking us if we can produce your toys, because we're not able to do that yet. But like I have some great artist friends that I would like to bring in with their ideas and to to create lines or unique products. So it's an interesting world we're entering in. I knew you, I knew other independent toy makers. It's cool to get into this arena of toy makers and trying to do something cool that people appreciated. I see from the feedback that looks like we're doing it right, because I mean, sorry if I'm rambling here, but
no, the floor is yours, man.
I've been reading comments, and the good part was that people that were not interested in our toys were just not interested. But most of the people that were interested, I would say 99%, said they were looking good and they were cool. Like nobody said, "Oh, but they look like crap." So that's a testament to the efforts we're putting into this, which is, I don't know, for us, for me, Josh and Peer, is just the way we do things when I do Transformers or Masters of the Universe. This is just my way of working into this stuff, and I'm sure it's the same for Peer. It's just we want the quality to stand out in what we do. So it's glad that people are getting it. So it's cool. It's exciting. I'm excited to get into the production of these figures now, where we'll see the process happening with the factory. We'll get the first test shot, and I'm sure there will be a lot of stuff to fix, but that doesn't really concern me. Like, oh yeah, we'll get into that part of the toy production, which is super exciting. And so yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to have the finished product too, but I'm enjoying the journey as much as hopefully the destination.
I think being
That's
on
awesome.
the other side of that, and then seeing the other side of it, and actually being hands-on into the toy production end of it, and taking it from point A to point B to point C to D to E to, you know, so everything from logistics, you know, from beginning, you know, concept to logistics, it's going to be an amazing learning curve and journey. But like I said, I'm here. You know, I'm always here to help, and anything you guys need, always, you know, just not even a question. Just, you know, Josh's family, and you guys are too. So you just let
Thank you.
Always. But yeah, we'd love to have you guys back on again when we get some new stuff. I can't
Not
wait.
3 a.m.
Yep, it'd be cool. But I want to see you guys get some sleep, and thank you so much again for coming on. We cannot.
Let me just say a quick thank you for having us on and let us talk for that amount of time. That was just great and fun.
Anytime.
Thanks everyone out there for the support we got, and for all the nice works that they gave us, and all the pre-orders and everything. It's been nothing but pleasant so far. It is just great. So
you guys deserve all the success in the world.
Thank you.
You really do.
Awesome.
That being said, this was Mike and Kreg versus the Past, episode 2, with FORMO Toys, Legends of Dragonore. You have 24 hours to pre-order them left. Go to formotoys.com. And as always on our show, we're going to close out with a crappy movie trailer, which we suggest that you watch. Last time was Jim Cotta, which some people watched and they hated me for it. And this time it's going to be another crappy movie. This one, it's called Hard Ticket to Hawaii. So enjoy the trailer. Guys, thank you all for tuning in.
Good night, everybody.
This is Mike, Peer, and Emiliano. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you guys on the next show. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It has it all. The awesome, pristine beauty of the land. The warm caress of perfect beaches. The tantalizing wetness of the blue Pacific. Hawaii. It's a great place to visit, but you wouldn't want to die there. Four of America's finest, ready and willing to pay the price for paradise. They're undercover, but not under-equipped. On this mission, there's hard flying, hard playing, hard fighting.
Agents are everywhere.
Have no mercy. Kill them all.
This ain't no hula. It's a hard ticket to Hawaii.